Hello, welcome to the Alone Show. I'm your host, John Alone. In this episode, don't have regulars, because reasons, I guess. As for our guest, she's from New York City, but currently in Israel, and she is a children's book author. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Bracha Gets.
Beautiful. You did that perfectly.
Nice. So, how's life?
Oh boy, life has been very, very unusual here in Israel. Yes. Yeah, we're in the middle of a war. So I've never experienced a war my whole life until now.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Uh-huh. Well, besides that, are you up to anything recently?
Yeah, well, because I've been in lockdown for I guess about a week and a half now. I actually wrote a whole bunch of books while I was here, not being able to go anyplace. So I wrote, drafts for three more children's books. So I've been really keeping myself busy and trying to be in a positive frame of mind despite the horrible, killing of human beings that's happening. It's so shocking to me, but we have inside of us an infinite resilience. So I've just been connecting with my soul and trying to produce positive books for children even during this time.
Fantastic. So, since our last meetup, like who knows how long, how many books have you written?
Gosh, I don't know. Well, now there's 41 children's books out, and there's just still my one book for adults, which is my memoir. The story of my journey to joy, overcoming food addictions, how I became a religious person because I wasn't brought up like that. Um, if anybody's interested, why in this day and age would someone become an Orthodox Jew? But it was because my soul was starving, and that's really the cause of all the food addictions, and it's an emptiness inside, and nothing can fill that emptiness because it's a spiritual hole. It's not a physical hole, and when we recognize that, then there's really no longer a need for the addictions. Then we have a way to fill that emptiness.
Yeah, I can see that. So, what was life for you growing up?
Growing up, it was very sweet, and that's why it's interesting that I knew there was something missing, because it was a very sweet life. We lived in this tiny apartment, and my parents were really sweet people. Um, they did not they did not have a sense of spirituality, but that's okay. I mean, they didn't feel something missing like I did, and I don't know why that happened, but like from the age of 12 on, I started to wonder about the purpose of life. Like, what are we here for? Like, is it just we wake up every day to go to work, to make money, to buy food, to go to work, to make money? What's the reason for all this? That's what I had to find out. So I tried all different things. I tried different religions. I tried, social action, environmentalism. Eventually, I started doing well in school, just trying to get wisdom, and that's how I ended up going to Harvard, because I I, I was searching for like the ultimate wisdom. That's not exactly what I found at Harvard. I had a great time there, but it wasn't the wisdom that I was looking for, the life wisdom, how to live a meaningful life. So, truthfully, what happened is, like, I met a lot of famous people there and stuff, and that was good because I got to see that like the most powerful people, the most famous people, the wealthiest people, they also don't have the secret to happiness, and they too were searching. So that was good for me to see, because I saw that that was not the top of the mountain. There's something more. And that kind of gets rid of that illusion that people waste a lot of time going after the illusion of fame or fortune or power, thinking that's going to bring happiness, but it doesn't. So I actually, my the food addictions got worse at Harvard, and then when I went on to medical school, I was I was studying to become a psychiatrist, but actually I was getting sicker and sicker at the time. Um, and that summer between my first and second year of medical school, I had a 6-week break. I went to Israel. That's when I discovered my lost heritage. And that's when things started to change in a more positive direction.
Nice. Very good. Where do you see yourself 20 years from now?
I my goal is to become ever more grateful in life, because that really is the secret to happiness. How grateful we are. I discovered what is the difference between a miserable life and a happy life. It's just how grateful you are. It could be the same life, but how you view it changes everything. So I've incorporated gratitude practices into my day throughout my life, and I hope to do that 20 years from now. That's really my goal, to keep spreading joy to young children as early in life as possible, so they have the happiness skills early on in life to use the rest of their lives, and also to adults, because everybody, we all benefit from more joy in our lives.
Yes, absolutely. Would you rather not be able to open closed doors or not be able to close open doors?
Oh my gosh. Wow. I would say that years ago, I was a more fearful person. So years ago, I was probably more afraid of the open doors. Now, I I'm really fearful of hardly anything, and I trust the world. That's what's changed. A a lot about addictions is a feeling of a loss of control over oneself and a loss of control in the world, feeling like the world's out of control, life's out of control. When you regain trust in yourself, and that life has an ultimate goodness to it, there's an ultimate good purpose, then you're not afraid of opening doors. You're curious, and there's a sense of wonder. And that's what I put into my books too, that curiosity, that childlike sense of wonder that we really never have to lose. And if we lose it, we can regain it.
Yes, absolutely. If someone wrote a book about you, what do you think its title would be?
Okay, I wrote it. So, um, my memoir is called Nourish the Soul. It used to have a different title, actually, but we got the rights back from the publisher and republished it recently. So it's called Nourish the Soul, Filling the Emptiness Within. That's the story of my life. That's what the title would continue to be, because we just made up that. I love that title. Nourish the Soul, Filling the Emptiness Within. That's what we all can do. We all can fill it up with gratitude.
Yes, indeed. If you had a song for every time you entered the room, what song would that be?
Oh, wow. A song. What is that? Oh, Frank Sinatra, I think. I Gotta Be Me, something like that. We're all, every single one of us, if we're here, there's this line on my, I put it on my fridge. Here is a test to find out if your mission in life is complete. If you're alive, it isn't. We all are here with a mission, each of us an individual mission, each of us not just one mission. There are so many reasons for us, each of us, to be existing here right now. So you got to be you. And I love that line too. You got to be you. Everyone else is taken. So might as well be you and be you in the most shining way possible. Nourish your hungry soul so that it has the fuel to shine as beautifully and brilliantly as possible.
Sweet. What's your favorite type of day?
Oh, wow. My favorite type of day. Um, a day that's challenging, but it like we people in general are afraid of change, but that's what it's all about. It's all about change. That's what we are here to keep evolving, to keep becoming the best possible human beings we can be. So, a day that's filled with challenges that we can quickly recognize as being helpful and beneficial to us. So, all day long, we get challenges, but the sooner we can recognize that they have value to us, that's a wonderful day. Then we can really appreciate all the things that are happening, not to us, but for us, because everything that happens to us is for our benefit.
Yeah, I could see that. What's something you tried that you didn't think you would like, but you end up liking it?
Oh yeah. I I don't like business. I don't like selling my books. I just like what I realize what I love to do is share about my books. Share that they're treasures and they're treasures for everybody. So I realize that I really am selling my books when I share about my books. Um, I may not be physically dealing with the exchange of money and funds, which I don't enjoy at all. But because I love the idea of everything being free in life, we're all just sharing with each other. I'm a huge idealist. But I realize that I am selling my books. I may not like to use that word, but that's what I'm doing. Every time that I reveal and share about the treasures that are in them.
Sweet. What could you give a 40-minute presentation on without any preparation?
Oh, yes, about the five levels of pleasure. I love to explain this because this is not from my head. This is based on ancient mystical wisdom. It's so basic, but it's so not known in the world. What are the five levels of pleasure? Anybody can download them from my website. I have a beautiful free chart that people can download. They put in their email address and they can get the chart. You could put it on your fridge, on your cabinets to remind you instead of overeating or engaging in any other addictive behavior or being anxious or feeling lonely or depressed. There are an infinite number. There's an abundance of pleasures that we could bring into our lives at any moment. We have the power to bring them in. I don't think you want me to go into the five levels right now, but I could. But that's the 15 minutes I'd want to share. What are these five levels of pleasure? They correspond to our five fingers. We have the power that's in our hands to bring this pleasure into our lives at any moment. And they also correspond to the five levels of the human soul. So as we go up the rungs of the pleasure ladder, we are fueling our hungry souls.
Great. Who was the last person you've talked to?
Oh, my husband?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see him yet this morning, but before we went to sleep last night. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. If your life was a meal, what kind of meal would it be?
Oh my goodness. Hum. It would be consisting of wonderful fruits that I would combine into a smoothie, and then I would add in like whatever fruits I feel like putting in, and bananas, whatever's available, berries, could be apples, throw it all in, and then add some oats and nuts and seeds. Oh my goodness. It's so nutritious and it's healthy and it keeps me full and energized and very grateful for all these amazing, nutritious, and delicious gifts from the cosmic oneness of the universe, all available to us.
Fabulous. If you could have a never-ending candle that smelled like anything you wanted, what fragrance do you want it to be?
What fragrance would, oh, a candle with a fragrance? Is that what you
Mm-hmm.
say? Oh, wow. I love lavender. I love I love all things purple. All things purple is like majestic and royalty, and like to me it's like the highest level of awe and wonder. I almost wonder why there are other colors in the world. I appreciate them, but purple. Ah, so it would also be the lavender scent. I love it. It's calming, it's wonderful, it's beautiful, and it's somehow transcendent.
Fantastic. What's your favorite season?
That would be autumn. You know, I've written about it. Autumn, what happens is the um the chlorophyll comes out of the leaves. So all the leaves were green, and suddenly they lose their chlorophyll, and you see what makes them uniquely beautiful. They're orange, they're yellow, they have some green in them, some brown, all different shades. Each one looks so uniquely beautiful, and I compare that to elderly people. When elderly people lose some of that vitality, and they also lose that sense I have to look like everybody else. They no longer have that type of insecurity. When you get older, you can really be yourself in all your full colors. You can just really let yourself shine. Hopefully, if you if you have within you the joy and the gratitude that you've been practicing. So autumn reminds me, the autumn leaves remind me of old people, and that appreciating their diversity, their beauty, their vibrancy is is a real it's just a great thing to do, to spend time with old people who have that unique wisdom to share.
Yes, indeed. When things break, do you prefer to fix them or replace them?
Oh, well, I love the idea of fixing them. I'm not that good at them. At that, my husband is so great at fixing things. Both of us are super into recycling and not disposing of things if possible. This gives us both a tremendous amount of joy. We are kind of fanatics about it, and we just love doing it together. Like he's really good at it. He's a very hands-on person. I'm more of like a theoretical ideas person, but together, um, we both love saving things and reusing them as much as possible. Yeah.
Nice, nice. What's the most visited website or application you go on often?
Um, Probably there's a website called h.com because from there is where both of us learned about the basics of Judaism, of our heritage. Um, Both my husband and I um, found our heritage and then found each other afterwards. So we were on very similar paths. And this website is all about like the basics for beginners, people that want to learn about the depths of Judaism, but even as an adult. So it's a really interesting, well-written website. Sometimes I write for them too, but not often. But the articles are fascinating. Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. What's your favorite quote?
Oh my, I have so many. I love quotes. Unbelievable. I'm just gonna pick one. Let me see. Um, okay, I shared that already. It's about really in life going from stressed to blessed. It's about changing your perspective so that instead of feeling stressed, you can begin to feel blessed in really nearly every moment of the day. That's what I'll say.
All right, nice, nice. If you were given 500 acres of land, what would you use that for?
uh, yes, for farming, definitely, because we were put into the garden to begin with, and we've gotten really far away from that. Most of us have anyway. But that do live on the land, they really come to appreciate the cycles of nature and the this sense of gratitude is heightened. There's a recognition that we're givers and takers, and we all connect with each other, that there's a symbiotic relationship with all the animals, with all the vegetation, and with us. So, yeah, definitely to live on the land. Yeah.
Great, great. What invention has greatly improved the world but doesn't get enough love and appreciation?
There's for sure we put down about the internet, and in some ways it distances people. They don't have as much FaceTime with each other, real FaceTime with each other, but it connects us so deeply. I love this. See, I mean, we're in different parts of the world and we can connect. It feels like I'm holding hands with everybody in the world. I love this. I love that I could just sit at home at my own desk and connect to anybody on earth. So I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your favorite kind of dessert?
Well, I'm not into dessert. I don't know where the whole idea came from. Like, why after a good nutritious meal and a person feels full, why stick in dessert? Like, it makes no sense. It's like you're eating more than you need. So I'm not into it at all. I feel like I just want to eat the good nutritious stuff, and that's it. I'm very grateful. No need to overeat.
Yeah, that's actually a good way of saying it. Would you rather be able to breathe underwater or have the agility of a cat?
A cat? A cat?
The agility of a cat.
Oh, the agility of a cat. Yeah, that's a great question. I I do feel that there is so much beauty underwater that we miss out on. Incredible worlds down there. So that might be awesome to go down scuba diving, or that might be really an awesome thing. I've never done that. And the idea of seeing all the worlds underwater is something wonderful. But I also love agility. I'm very into dance and movement, and I love being very active and flowing with my energy. I love both those things.
Fabulous. If you could turn any activity into Olympic sport, what would you have a good chance of winning a medal for?
Flexibility. Yeah. I mean, I'm not like the most Olympic, but for my age, I'm very flexible and I love it. Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling.
Nice. What's worth spending more time on to get the best out of it?
What's worth spending more time on? Oh, being grateful. The more we practice it, the more grateful we become. It's if you if you know when you go on a road and it's all gravelly, no one's traveled on it, it's very hard to maneuver. Once you keep going in the same grooves, it gets easier and easier. That's our gratitude muscle. We're actually, it's part of the brain. The brain is kind of a muscle. As we create more blood vessels, more, not more, but more blood vessels too, but more neural pathways, the more that the neurons fire together, the more they wire together. And as we create more gratitude pathways to the brain, it becomes easier and easier. And our lives just get more and more joyful. There's nothing to lose from becoming a more grateful person.
Alright then. Have you heard of a drink called banana friche?
No, what is friche?
Well, friche is like a milk slash smoothie kind of drink. It has all the sizzling, tingly sensations of all the world.
Wow. How'd that happen?
We have no idea. It just happened.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes. If the internet suddenly stopped existing, what would you do with the time that you usually spend on the internet?
I'd probably be exercising even more. I love it. I could like sometimes when I'm dancing, I feel like I could do it all day long. And yoga and taking walks. Yeah, those are tremendous joys to me.
Nice. Very good. What was the last book you've read?
Hmm. I was rereading How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's such an amazing book, such an old book, and it's still so relevant. I love it. Has amazing wisdom in it. Yeah, Dale Carnegie, such a great book.
Ah, very good. Have you ever experienced anything unusual or supernatural?
Hmm. Have I ever unusual or supernatural? I don't think so. I mean, see, I kind of feel like if I look at the everyday things, then I see how super they are, even though they're natural. Are they supernatural? Like, I mean, my favorite is an orange. You can go to such an amazing place with just an orange. I the fruit, they're all green when they begin because they're protected, they're camouflaged in with the leaves. Then they become the most bright and beautiful when they're ready for us. They call to us, I'm ready, when they're bright and beautiful. So they're beautiful to look at. They smell beautiful. An orange is filled with sweet juiciness that lasts for months in its protective peel. It's incredible, individually packaged for us with infinite intelligence and infinite kindness and compassion. That's how these things are made for us. And then when we finish, oh my gosh, this is the most supernatural part is the seeds. The seeds are designed to go back into the earth from one little orange to create an infinite amount of trees and more oranges. I mean, if that is not transformative, just experiencing an orange with mindful gratitude, and the whole world is like that, the whole natural world.
Yes, I can certainly see that. And finally, would you rather never age physically or never age mentally?
Wow. My father had Alzheimer's, and he was grateful really until the end. He was a kind of grateful person. That's where I feel like I got a lot of this from. Um, he, he just basic, simple things made him really happy. And his physician said, your father, he meets nice new people every day. It's the same people. He had no idea I was his daughter in the end. And that was hard on me, but it was not hard on him. He was having a great time until the end. So I'm going to go for that one. It's unusual, but I'll pick that he was still happy even though he had Alzheimer's. He wasn't suffering physically.
Ah, yes, of course. And that is all I have for this episode. It's great having you on, Bracha, talking about your works as a children's book author, being positive and changing your perspective and whatnot. It's been great.
Thank you so much. Your questions were amazing, so thought provoking, and like soul stimulating. Really awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. And until next time, stay tuned for more.